An Irish Airman Foresees His Death by William Butler Yeats. I know that I shall meet my fate somewhere among the clouds above. Those that I fight I do not hate, those that I guard I do not love. My country is Kiltartan Cross, my countrymen Kiltartans poor. No likely end could bring them loss or leave them happier than before. Nor law nor duty bade me fight, nor public men nor cheering crowds. A lonely impulse of delight drove me to this tumult in the clouds. I balanced all, brought all to mind. The years to come seemed waste of breath. A waste of breath, the years behind, in balance with this life, this death. Here we have a poem by William Butler Yeats about an Irishman who takes an impulse to go and fight in World War I as a fighter pilot. Now, in fighting against the Germans, he's basically taking part in a war on behalf of the British. As an Irishman from Kiltartan Cross, being a member of the poor class of Irish, he recognizes that whether or not they win the war will make very little difference to the people he really cares about. If they win the war, it doesn't help the poor Irish. If they lose the war, it doesn't hurt them. They pretty much wind up where they were before. So why get involved in this war? Basically, he has an impulse to go to fight. It's just adventurism. He's been driven to risk his life because he sees his life as it is and sees nothing much to it. He seems that his life before and after the war are basically, as far as he could see, a waste. So why not go do something adventurous with his life? That seems to be the theme of this poem. So, I'm approaching it a little differently today because I just read the poem straight out with no prologue, but let me go ahead and talk about some of the language now, read through it, and hey, I'll go through it a third time too. So, in the poem, we'll see the word bade. Bade, B-A-D-E. This is just the past tense of bid, meaning told or requested. No one told me to do this. No one requested me to do this. You've probably heard the phrase, he does her bidding. He does what she asks. He does what she tells him to do. Okay, so no one bade me to do it means no one asked me or told me to do it. An impulse is a sudden urge to do something. You probably have heard of impulse shoppers, people who didn't plan to buy something, but they saw it and they just suddenly thought, oh, I want to buy that. They did it impulsively, right? And one more vocabulary word to look at is tumult. A tumult is usually a kind of a wild and confused noise, like a crowd bustling about. Okay? In this poem, I read it as sort of like disorder, like a riot. And so he's describing air combat. Planes in the air flying and noisily shooting at each other and dropping bombs, and it's just a confused, disordered mess of noise and violence. That's what he's referring to as a tumult. So with those three vocabulary words in mind, bade, impulse, and tumult, I think the rest of the vocabulary should be pretty straightforward. So let's look at it line by line and then straight through one more time. I know that I shall meet my fate somewhere among the clouds above. So he knows that his destiny is as a pilot. Perhaps he is, as the title suggests, imagining he will both live and die there, that this is all that there is for him. Those that I fight, I do not hate. So he's not going to war for hatred of the enemy. In fact, he doesn't really feel very involved in the politics of the time. Those that I guard, I do not love. He's not out there fighting for Ireland or for his town. Really, he's going out there and fighting a British war. And a lot of the poor Irish don't feel much affection for the British. My country is Kiltartan Cross, simply the region of Ireland that he lives in. My countrymen, Kiltartan's poor. These are the people that he feels affection for, the people that are his people, the poor people of Kiltartan Cross. No likely end could bring them loss, so no matter how the war ends, it probably will not hurt them. Or leave them happier than before. Winning will not help them either. It makes no difference. Nor law nor duty bade me fight, nor public men nor cheering crowds. So it was not the law that he should fight. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have a sense of duty to do it. No public men, that is, no government men, have told him to do it. There were no cheering crowds in Ireland saying, go fight the Germans. Only a lonely impulse, a thrill took him to think, I could go and be a fighter pilot in this adventurous war. A lonely impulse of delight drove me to this tumult in the clouds. Air battle. I balanced all. I thought about it. I thought, should I go? Should I not? Brought all to mind. I considered all the factors. The years to come seemed waste of breath. My future in Ireland as a poor Irishman just seemed, why bother? Really, he's just bored with his life as a young man at this point, it seems, and he just doesn't foresee any good future for him. A waste of breath the years behind. So his past life also seems like he's just wasting his life. It's just a bore. In balance with this life, this death, compared to the thrill of being a fighter pilot, living in the clouds and dying in the clouds. That's the meaning of the poem. I'll read it one more time, and then I'll ask you a question in our forum and find out what you have to say. I know that I shall meet my fate somewhere among the clouds above. Those that I fight I do not hate, those that I guard I do not love. My country is Kiltartan Cross, my countrymen Kiltartan's poor. No likely end could bring them loss, or leave them happier than before. Nor law nor duty bade me fight, nor public men nor cheering crowds. A lonely impulse of delight drove me to this tumult in the clouds. I balanced all, brought all to mind. The years to come seemed waste of breath. A waste of breath, the years behind, in balance with this life, this death. All right, so I'd like to hear what you have to say about impulsive behavior, adventurism, the decision to maybe take a very fatal or reckless decision because one is bored with your current condition. All right. I'll speak to you again soon. Have a good day.